Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio. Joining myself, Southside, on the show this evening is two legends of Rangers Radio. My big China, Big Stevie, and the legend that is the Bridgeman. How are you guys?
Oh, good evening, wingman. Good evening, listeners. Welcome to the big station, serving the nation. Yes, it is. It's Dream Team Wednesday. Over to the bridge.
Can I just say a huge good evening to yourself, Southside, and just, of course, Big Stevie there, and the techie boys in the background. But can I just say to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
Well, what can I say, Stevie? Absolute privilege tonight, isn't it, to have the legend, the Bridgeman, with us this evening on Dream Team Wednesdays, you say?
Unbelievable. The man's knowledge in Glasgow Rangers is legendary. Stuff like that man could tell you about all the past, Ibrox, the old team and everything about them. Yes, he is. He is the only legend on Rangers Radio as a Bridgeman, and I'm glad he's for the drum as well.
Yep, the only guy that's seen Archibald Leach and work, didn't you, Bridgeman?
Wild.
Oh, great to have you on the night, Bridge. Great to have you on, pal.
You too, pal. Let me tell you too. It's a thrill. It's a thrill.
Anyway, big man, what can I say? Sunday, atmosphere, decent, and we go to 3 points. We're top of the league, 2 points clear and 2 goals clear, biggin.
Happy days, eh? I mean, what a turnaround for Phil Clement come in. He's the team that he took on are broken, wounded, on their knees, and look at them now. And I've got to say, the only one that I can see it's no mended and bettered is Scott Wright. But I'm not going to get into it. That's the only negative. The only negative I've got is that boy. But the bottom line for me is what Big Phil's done since he came in. Oh my. Different class. I love his man management, the way he speaks to the boys coming off the park. I love the way he deals with the press. He's a presence. There's no carry on with him. His feet's firmly on the ground. And I'll tell you, I think we've won a watch for a big man. But there's still a lot of football to be played. I'm ecstatic about the turnaround. I'm not ecstatic as in we've won the league. I'm ecstatic about the way we've turned it around and got on top of them. Because, I mean, as I said, they were at 1 point under Beale. I think a lot of the Bears' heads had fell. Mine's didn't, but most of the Rangers support did. And the way that man's turned it around is just unbelievable.
I think Bridge is what Stevie's touched on through all that, because that's nearly finished my speech for the night. I thought I was going to mention. Cheers, Stevie. No, I'm only kidding. Bridge, I think it's just, we've been consistent lately. We're racking up the wins. You can see that we're in a good place. And as long as you keep winning, we had to get 1 or 2 favours for other teams, which has came along. But me and Stevie had said for a while, they weren't good. They weren't a great team. And we've had numbers of injuries this season, having to nurse players back, and we've had to cajole our squad. But we're right in, we're now top of the league just through keeping a consistent run at the moment going under Phil Clement.
You know, can I ask you a question? Are we allowed to have, shall we say, injuries? Because nobody seems to know we've got injuries. All you hear about is that the other team across the city seems to have a lot of injuries. I'm like, what are you talking about? We had half our team at one time. Anyway, yeah, I have to say, Mr. Clement has carried us. I say that in all honesty. My opinion, he's carried us, and I can't say enough about him. He's absolutely superb with the players. When they're coming off the park, it's great. He's shouting, spoken to, and all the nice things that could ever happen. He's doing it. And he's carrying Rangers on his shoulders right at this moment. But we're starting to turn around and start to take away ourselves. And that's what we want to see. Yes!
I think the one thing, Stevie, I think we can be assured that he's going to bring the players right down, isn't he? He's just going to keep it the way it is. Because let's be honest, we've no won anything yet, but we've put ourselves in that position. we're the team now that can dictate what happens in this league. We just have to keep winning, and that's what. And if we keep winning every game, then we win the league. But that aside, I think you'll just keep them. Next game's the most important, and nothing changes. We're not at top of the league or whatever. They'll try and take that away. All the players are going to know that we're sitting top of the league. They're no daft, but he's going to keep that mentality. I think he'll hope to keep the players at that mentality.
Well, it's as plain and simple. If you listen to all the pressers with the players, they're even saying the same things as him. One game at a time. Lena Martel, one game at a time. So he's channeling it. He's got a mindset and he's channeling it into the players. And the players are even saying word for word sometimes what the big man's saying. The big man's already told the press, look, I'm going to be born to use because I'm going to keep saying the same thing to you week in, week out. Feet in the ground, the next game's the most important. And the Bridgeman, to be fair, that's the Bridgeman's war cry. And I think Big Phil's been listening to the show and took that off Bridgeman. But the bottom line for me is Big Phil's got a mindset and it's channeling through the team and they're bought into it. He's flung an arm round every one of them. He's got them winning other personal battles on the field. He's got them playing as a team and fighting like a team. And I'm over the moon about that. And not just, by the way, I know a lot were saying there we've no won nothing. We've won the League Cup and see where he's got us in Europe now. I mean, who would have thought we'd have got betters in the rain back here? Let's be honest. So he's done fantastic. He's lost one game. Wow. And I'm just over the moon about that. And I think it was a podcast. I don't know what other pod I was listening. One of the guys said, even if we didn't win the league this year, now this is no me saying this or this show saying this, but it was another pod, even if we didn't win the league this year, he's pretty confident next year we will definitely win the league at the fact that what this man's done in such a short time. I mean, you heard them about the man in Belgium says Glasgow Rangers have won a watch getting Big Phil. He left us Genk after he won the league and we wish we kept him, but he left. He says, and if Glasgow Rangers keep a hold of him, he will be a winning machine for them. And that's exactly how I feel about the guy. I know the guy's got his sleeves rolled up at training, his sleeves rolled up morning, noon and night, watching things, watching everything that's going on, reading into people's mentalities, watching how their private lives are getting on and making sure everybody's happy. He's digging deep and digging his heels in and he's doing the proper things. The things a manager like Walter Smith used to do. Any problems with the players, he took them aside, gone up to mine for a wee bite to eat and that, and took them under his wing and got them back on the right track. And I think Big Phil Clement's one of the guys.
I think you can see that straight away, Bridge. I've also said on here, he's got a presence. He come in with a plan. He's been a winning manager in his short space of time where he knows how to build teams and win league titles. And he had to come in. He said he'd watched a lot of videos, so he's no daft. He gave everybody the clean slate, as he said, and he's just gave them a structure, simple instruction, and they're all following it out to the letter.
Yeah, you know, like Steve was saying, is absolutely true. But I can't say enough. I can't praise him enough. I think he's a complete revelation, and I just want him to continue doing it. He's continue bringing the players on because that's the most important thing. Whatever he sees in the players, maximise it, and only the fans will realise what he's doing because it's all going to happen on the pitch, and that's what we want. Huge game coming up at the weekend, of course. Biggest game of the season for me. Mind every game is, of course. But seriously, he's leading up to that, and guy's flawless. At the present moment, he's flawless. So I hope he continues that way. And hope when the first party that Rangers Radio are having, we invite him in. That's what we should do. See buying a drink.
I must say, Southside and Bridge, I think the biggest compliment I could give him is mentioning him in the same breath as Walter Smith. As a Rangers fan, I think that's the best accolade I can give him. And you've seen what the UB and all the rest of the Rangers support, the Broomlin Collective boys and all them thinking when they sing Phil Clement's Blue and White Army. I mean, that's an accolade in itself, because that was Walter's re-song, wasn't it? So I think the Rangers fans are really warming to the guy. We can see the hard work he's putting in, and we're galvanised, the team and the players, and we're all pulling the one way. And we've got a rosy future together, as long as we just keep our feet in the ground, keep our tongues in the ivory box, because there's a lot of football to be played. Nobody's saying the league's won yet, but we're just delighted the way he's turned it round so quick. It's been amazing.
Aye, it has, mate. Well, we're all Rangers fans. It's a Rangers show, and it's a phone-in show. So hopefully we'll hear from some people phoning in tonight. So we're just going to open the phone lines now. So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Hi, just phone in. Techie team will take your call and we'll call you back. Totally free, and come on here and talk about the club that we all love. Guys, the famous Glasgow Rangers, Stevie.
Never mind the Champions League. Come on, Bells. Get on the phone. Your dream team sitting here waiting to take a bit of stick. Come on.
And a legend. And a legend.
Aye, Dick with Brown on this. Aye. Casey.
What I was going to mention is you're talking about Phil. He's made some players obviously start playing better, and we've seen some players. But I was going to talk first of all, come to you, Stevie, then we'll go to Bridge. John Sterling. We've seen him play right back, left back, midfield, right side of attack, and I think he played left for a while against St Mirren, and then swapped to her, I think. We need to find a place for him in the team, but is it good that he's moving about at the moment because we're having to use him in certain games and he's had to come in when we've had loads of injuries? So what do you think of him at the moment, Stevie, just being that utility player?
Listen, wherever Big Phil puts him, I've got every bit of trust in the big man. He watches what he's on at training. We stumbled across this boy playing in the midfield, and let's be honest, has he really had a bad game in that midfield? I mean, he came on there on Sunday, and let's be honest again, he could have changed the game. He's a powerhouse, mate. He's a big boy, and you know, the boys get the bug. I think deep down he's really happy at Rangers, and I think the boy would play anywhere. I really do. But I'm going to pay John Sterling a compliment by saying this, and I don't know if a lot of Rangers fans out there will agree, but that's what the show's about. He's ahead of Raskin in my book for that midfield. I mean, you've got to remember, we've got a few midfielders there all fit and ready to go, and I would put John Sterling before Raskin. I just think Raskin, we know it, he's got ability. We know he's great at turning that ball out and turning it round and moving. But I've got to say he's passing and he's not showed much, mate. I know he's coming back from an injury. Some people will say that's part of it, but I would put John Sterling in that midfield before Raskin. There you go.
All right, I was going to bring Raskin up actually during the show and talk about him slightly as well as what you're saying. Bridgeman, what's your thoughts on John Sterling? Do you see him playing midfield going forward? Or do you think we'll just use him utility to the end of the season because we have to?
Very much a kind of utility player at the moment, but I can see him playing midfield. I think he quite likes it in there. The manager's got no fear. He'll play him wherever he can, wherever he feels a bit weak here and there, he's going to play him. I do agree with you when you see Rashkan. It looks as if he hasn't quite recovered all his strength yet. So he's still a smashing league player, like, you know. He doesn't have the pace and energy that Sterling gives you. Sterling is just a big bull at times, isn't he? I mean, he just wants to get through things, you know. I think he's a smashing player, and I think the manager will use him to his best. I hope, and I hope it brings him on and keeps him going. because it was not that long ago he was man of the match for a couple of games in a row, you know. A smashing player, obviously got it in the head as well. So I'm very happy to see him. Please, manager, keep playing him.
I see it slightly different. I don't think long term he's a central midfielder for us. I think you can put him in certain games, 20 minutes to go, you want to shut the game down, things like that. Maybe get him to just go and mark a player. I think we look for a football player, and I think Diamande, somebody like that, has come in that in time will show his worth because he is a midfielder. I think Dujon could probably go and try and go for right back. I look at it as Clement isn't letting Tav shoot up and down the park as much. He's got a wee bit restricted at times. Stevie?
My midfielder now is John Louston, Diamande and Cantwell. That would be my midfielder now, Southside. You know what I mean? So where does the rest of them fit in? You know,
Aye.
You bring Jack there and on. You know what I mean? So there's a few of them, but my main midfielder now, if you were asking me to pick a team for Saturday, that would be my midfield.
I think going forward, I think Raskin, he's only 22. He's had an injury. Yep. He played well when he first came in. Him and Cantwell, he gets about the park, he wins tackles. His passing's not been great. He's probably no showed enough in certain games, but I think he could go on to be the player that the club thought we were going to get and that we could flip at some point in time.
He's going to have to be outside. He's going to have to dig deep. He's going to have to dig deep to get back into that midfield. Because let's be honest, Big Louston's been playing out his skin. Diamande's looking every bit of a player that we thought we were signing. And Cantwell has just come right onto a game. Cantwell was excellent the first half, I thought. You know what I mean? He was getting the boot put on him, but I mean, that's midfield. And then the good thing is, everybody's getting minutes under Clement. You know, I've no doubt in my mind, different games, he'll fling Raskin in there, but when he comes on, he's got to dig deep and try and win that jersey back, because it's no his and who, that's what I'm going to say.
No, it's no bridge, man, and that's what we want. We want the players that have came back from injury are hungry to get in the team, because they have to go and impact the game when they get on, when they're coming into the team or when they come on as a sub. And Judon Sterling did that at the weekend when he came on. They got the penalty. But Raskin, I think, once he's up to speed and fit, I think he will be an integral part of your midfield bridge. I think he will get back in, and we will see the Nico Raskin, I think, that we were signing and what we expect from him.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it, but the truth is, but the squad is getting stronger, more fit. All the guys that were a wee bit lacking fitness and match fitness and so on are starting to come together. And I think the Raskin is going to have a big job in his hand to sort of fight his way back in, but I don't doubt he will. I think he's. The manager knows him, and that's a big bit. But well, doesn't know, but I don't know if he knows him personally, but he knows how he plays and so on and so forth. So there's a good chance that he'll walk into it. Don't forget the guys that are still a bit injured and can't get in yet. So all these guys that are coming back from injury, not only have they got to recover and get to fitness, they've got to fight their way back into the squad. Whereas maybe 3 or 4 months ago, they didn't need to do that. So you could have just walked into it. Show a wee bit of toy and you're getting a game to it. Different now. And I think that whomever the manager sees, he might just be looking for, now I'm saying he might just be looking for the weaknesses because he knows their strengths. And Rashkan's only coming back from injury. So I like all the players that we've got in our books. I like all of them. Except, I must admit, I've got a wee weakness. I feel he's very weak as far as the squad goes. Is Scott Wright. I don't think he's quite the player that our manager would see in his squad. However, he's there and he's getting used. But not to the detriment of anyone may say. He's still doing it. He's doing a wee turn. I see a lot tougher selection, a real tough selection for some players. Instead of being able to walk in, there's some of them. Maybe we've seen the end of their career with Rangers because remember, you've only got 12 games left in the league. and a few, hopefully a few European games and a Scottish Cup. But really and truly, you know, that's big games, all big games, heavy stuff. So I don't know. Maybe the end of the season is coming too quick for some of the players. I think that's what I'm meaning. Yes, but we'll see. We'll see.
Aye, he's got to fight to get himself back in the team. He'll have to show it at training. I think Clement, Stevie's keeping an eye on them all. I just see long term. I look at it. If you're thinking do John Sterling at some point, I'll either be. I think he'll eventually go into right back. I think that was his natural position, and I think in time that's where we'll probably find himself. He has to find a place in the team at some point. Probably at the end of the season, I know with these short games to go, we can float him about anywhere, Stevie. But he's got to nail a position. We've got to know probably what his best position is and get him into the team at some point. Because I think if you're floating about all the time, it's good for the manager, but he's not a natural midfielder. He's not a natural right-sided player. So, he's done all right and he's looked good and he got a penalty and he influenced the game, but it's not always going to happen. There's times in games when I've seen him in the middle of the park in there, he's getting passed about. He wasn't sure when to go, where to be. At times in Lundstrom had to talk him through the game, which is fine. But I think going forward, he probably has to find a position for going forward for next season onwards once Clement rejigs his squad again.
Well, look, it's like everything. Time is going to tell, you know, because, I mean, the same as what we were just talking about, asking there. Big Dujon, look, are we ever going to know what Clement's best 11 is? The way he's retaining the team, why everybody's getting minutes, and, you know, there's guys coming back for injury like Ruffin. Are these guys still going to get time? And what's his strongest 11? You couldn't tell. You couldn't tell. You couldn't put your finger on it. And the bottom line for me is only time will tell about Big Dujon. You're probably right, Southside. You're probably right. He probably might get back to his original, what he came to Rangers for. It was right back, wasn't it? And that's his natural position, isn't it? But he stumbled across this midfield. I get it. He's a bit inexperienced in it. As you said, there's a couple of times the ball's been passed around about him. He doesn't know when to go and whatever. But he's looking. Guys would help him with that. Experience and game time would help him with that. And I've no doubt in my mind, Phil Clement's not just flinging the big man in there if he doesn't think he could do a job. Definitely no. So what's going on at training? Do we know what the big man's playing in the midfield and bounce games at training and stuff like that? We just don't know, mate. But only time will tell. It's a great headache Big Phil's got. All the boys, you've got Ryan Jack, you've got Cantwell, you've got Demande, you've got all the midfield players now. That midfield is strong now. And for Big Dujon, I mean, as I said, the best compliment I could pay him is that I would put him in the midfield before Raskin. I'm not saying Raskin's a bad player. I just feel as if he's got to fight to get that jersey back in the midfield because he wasn't showing it the times that he came back. And I do understand that he's just back for an injury and he does need a bit of time. But the midfield is so strong now, mate. And I just don't know if it... I mean, my midfield, as I said, is Lundstrom, Cantwell and Diamande. I mean, that would be my midfield for Saturday. So where are these guys batting up?
So that means you've took Tom Lawrence. He's took Tom Lawrence out of that bridge, who the managers had in there. But Tom Lawrence isn't a natural deep player where he was playing to fill in bridge, was he? You know, Tom Lawrence is further up the park.
Yes. But what can you say? Back to the points that we were talking about earlier as well. The manager will change it around and they'll put people where he wants to see people. And I think you're going to see some surprises. I think he's trying to play Tom Lawrence in the best place for him, which is whatever his position is. Let's say it's a number 10. If he's going to play him in there and he's getting goals or he's getting shots at goal and things like that. So it's great to see that. But I'm sure the manager will not going to, shall we say, not going to put all his money on the Tom Lawrence cards, you know. going to be looking around through the squad to see who's available to do certain things. I do like Tom Lawrence, I must admit. He's nice to watch. So I don't know what the manager's going to do. He's had one of these lovely headaches to have from a manager perspective. He's got all these players. What does he do with them? What parts of the jigsaw and so on and so forth. So all good for me. And long may it last. Keep it going there, Rangers. Keep it going.
I think Tom Lawrence is playing pretty well in the games that he's been in, Stevie. He's the ranks sort of age of 30 again. He's had a lot of injury time out, as we spoke about. But at the moment, it's all hands to the pump. They're all back sort of fit. The only one you touched on was Kemar Ruffeller, who I think will probably come back into the squad at some point. I couldn't tell you when, but I think he might. But I think I would rather see Lovelace try and get fit and come back and try and contribute over a period of time as well, being a young boy. But we've got that option, and maybe Kemar Roof coming back into the squad. But they're all fighting for their places. We're top of the league, and we've got the momentum. So I suppose it's just like Philip Clement's doing now. Plus, we're trying to get Otton fit for a European game coming up as well. We'll have that shortly in a couple of weeks' time. And the ones that he's added into that squad, Stevie, he's got to get them ticked now and keep the minutes in their legs.
That's exactly what he's doing. He's told us he's fighting on all fronts. There's still a hell of a lot of football to be played here, and he's going to need these guys. I mean, look at Tom Lawrence. You've got Ryan Jack. Look at that midfield that's maybe going to get a game. You know, and he's got to rotate them, keep them ticking there, get minutes and legs. The good thing maybe is Ibrox, when you get the lesser teams, if you're 2-0 up at all time, you can start rotating in all positions of the team and getting guys time in their legs and keeping them fit and keeping them up to speed. But what a wonderful sort he does. It wasn't that long ago, man. The Rangers team could have took up the whole of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. There was that many of them out. Look at them all now. They're all back. They're all fighting. Does that not tell you the same story? Does that not tell you the same story? That they're all back and all fighting and all wanting in the team? It wasn't that long ago, I think, their heads were down and they didn't want to be in the team. Look at them now.
Change your manager, mate. Change your attitude. Discipline.
100%.
And once you start winning, Bridge, it breeds confidence. Everybody's happy. They like the training. The manager relates to them. They can see that he's a real manager. He's not going to be messed about. And players will react to that. And that's what's got this formula, the way we're talking now. Everybody's fighting and trying to get back fitter and get in this team.
Yeah, well, you know, the manager's stand-up guy. My only fear is, the press conferences. Maybe he's giving them too much. No killing anyone, you know. But I think sometimes I just wish you stop at that point. Don't tell him anymore, and away you go. But I'm not going to try and tell the manager how to do his job. But that's my only fear, is that because they can make it out to be anything they want. It doesn't really matter what happens. They'll take the words and change them around, and so on and so forth. So I just want to be stopped at a convenient point and say that's enough, right? You know. Unfortunately for Rangers, I don't run that kind of thing. But other than that, the man's a stand-up guy and he's looking after himself and the club and the players, which is very, very important. And he's the head of he's the face of Rangers and the head of the club. Simple as that for me. Obviously, we know he's not on the board or anything like that, but seriously, he's the go-to man. If you want anything, he'll do it. I'm so proud of him. Yes. Get me excited here, boys.
I think it's like we've talked about. I think I said it on here a good wee while ago, Stevie, if you remember, people were like, if Ridwan gets sold, he'll go, and some people's opinions on he wasn't very good and this and that, injury prone, and I kept saying he needs to get maybe 15 games in a row so we could try and judge him, see if he's reliable, see if he's going to be fit, see what the manager thinks of him. And Phil Clement obviously added him into his European squad because he wasn't in that. I think the wee man's been doing really well, Stevie.
Unbelievable, mate. Now, listen, I've got to hold my horns up. When you get it wrong, you get it wrong. And I've done this on this show a couple of times. I've got to say, you've got to see things how they are and see it how it is at the time. Now, I came on and I didn't like Ridvan, right? I said he's that wee, he could get his legs, his passport 40, if you can remember me saying that, right? Now, you did say the boy needs a run to see what he can really do. And under Big Phil, he's had that run. And I'm going to tell you something. I think Borner's time's up, and I would rather see Borner go and I don't mean that Borner's no done as a turn or he's a bad player. I just mean if I had a choice with the two of them, I would have Reed Advanced time. That's how dramatically that's turned around on its head. But I've got to say, the wee man's been playing well. He's a wiry wee fella. He doesn't shy out of nothing. And he can get up and down the wing. And his crossing's starting to get better, let's be honest. His crossing's starting to get better. Turkish international, he's only a young guy. I would want to keep a hold of him and see what happens.
Bridge, I think he's no shy in a tackle. I think he goes in. I think he gives you a good option because he comes inside the park. And I think when he comes in, it allows us to then release the winger who's playing on the left. Whereas Borner wants to hug the touchline and get down the line, which means the winger then, I think, is going to come inside to look for the ball because Borner's want to sort of overlap. Sometimes they get a bit close together, I've noticed, for where I sit at times. And I think now we've got Cortez on the left. We've tried him on the left. We had Seema was working a good relationship, I think, with the left back. But since he's been out and the forward line's changed on the left, I think it's took him a wee while to get settled on that side, Bridge.
Yeah, I like the boy Cortez, and I saw he was moving across the pitch quite well with the ball at his feet, and sort of trying to get some activity on the right. But I do like him. It doesn't matter where he plays. I think he's a smashing player. And my goodness, when he starts to hit form, a good form, we're going to have someone in our hands there. I really do. So I think he's a sensational player. He looks really good and confident. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. And the other boy, Diamonde or something like that. The boy that scored the goal.
Mm-hmm.
What a goal. So I think our manager's got some smashing players from a midfield perspective, in fullback and so on and so forth. Sorry?
I'm sorry, Bridge. I think we've been joined by Stuart.
Okay.
How you doing, Stuart?
Hi, good. I just sort of chip in with a few points and that,
Good evening, Stuart.
Aye, hiya, guys. All right. Bridge was just talking there. Let Bridge finish, then I'll pop in if that's all right. I know he was talking, cut him off there.
No, you carry on, pal.
You sure? Aye, obviously, the squad's looking a wee bit healthier now than what it was 6-7 weeks ago, that's for sure. But I look at Sterling and I feel he's got to play. What I would like to see is, I would like to see him try different formations with an eye on Europe sort of coming up, where we're going to have to be a wee bit more defensive, just for the sake of it's a different style of football, and we need to be able to convert to some. So what I was going to suggest was, I would have a back three, Sterling, Goldston in the middle, then Balogun. Then that allows Tav and Ridvan to go up top a wee bit. I know it's going to change the shape of the team, McCausland and all these type of people, but I think we need to sort of change it up at times. And especially for a game, say, for example, like Kilmarnock, you can't play a lot of football in it, but what you didn't want to do is lose a goal. And with due respect to anything, we're only going to maybe get one goal or two goals, but I think if you could break Kilmarnock's back with a goal and then a second goal, they would just fold. But the longer it stays 1-0 or nothing, they get sort of hope for that. So we've got a good defence to know, I know that. But I just feel we need to change the tactics a bit. And Sterling, I would have him in the team all the time, try to get him in there. He come in there on the right at the weekend. I thought he did really, really good, especially on that part. I mean, the middle of the part was bad enough, but my God, the outside of the part, there was no grass on it. It was just a shambles. And the guy's fast, he's strong. I don't know what you think about the change of formation, especially with an eye on Europe coming up in the next kind of 4 or 5 weeks, 3-4 weeks sort of.
Aye, I'll come to Stevie, right? My take on it is, as we play the back four, Stuart, right? We push Tav's going slightly up over the halfway line to a point at certain points, and so does Ridvan slightly. But I only playing with the two at the back, to be honest, with Lundstrom sort of sitting right. But you can see that in games when we're pushing up. Stevie, what do you think? Do you think it's something? Do you think would dramatically change to a back three when we've got ourselves into this position, playing the back four?
No, I don't think we would do that. But I agree with the caller. What he's trying with all these players, I can get where the caller's coming from. What's your name again, buddy?
Stuart.
I agree with Stuart to the fact that, you know, it might be good to try something different with playing against better teams in Europe. I get that, but I just think, come on, we've lost 5 goals on the road, I think, since Big Phil's come in. Is that right? 5 goals, that's it. Defending is a lot better. I mean, some of these games, teams aren't even getting a shot on target. I don't think St John's had a shot on target, did they?
I know.
And there's been a couple of games like that where teams aren't even getting a shot at your goal. Big Jack would be as well up with me getting a half a dozen pies rattled into him. You know, the thing is, I agree with you to an extent. I like the way we're playing now. Tav and Ridvan are coming in the way and stopping anybody breaking as well, catching you on the hop and all, you know. But look, it's exciting times coming up. Can I just say one more thing on wee Ridvan? Although I've been running wee Ridvan into the ground, I just think he's a good wee player with a lot to learn as well. He's still only young, but he's not a Turkish internationalist for nothing, Southside. And I think it was just his size for me. Funny enough, you know, as a defender in Scotland coming up against these big firmer sons, the Motherwells, the St Johnsons, your Constantines and that, it just wanted to put players up in the air. I thought, no, he'll never make it. But he is wee. I mean, if he went to a nudist camp, he'd get flung out for poking his nose into people's private affairs. You know, he is well, you know. But he's done brilliant, and he's changed my mind as a Rangers fan. It goes every week. We getting that running the team, as you rightly said, Southside, you know. No, I agree with the call to an extent. Big club, big follow, nobody today. Big follow, nobody today. We just go and put my trust in the big man. But I get why the caller's saying that. There's going to be horses for courses. You'll have Scottish Cup games and cow parts, and then you'll be going to Europe and playing in bowling greens. I get it against better teams.
But do you think? I just think Ridvan gives you something different. I think when he comes inside into the park, which he does, Borna tends to stay out wide and look to put the cross in. I think sometimes when we're playing as a winger now, whereas before we played narrow, we're actually using wingers. I think they've got to give them the ball and give them a bit of space. So if your fullback's coming inside, it's allowing your winger to go up the park. And let's be honest, him and Tav, Ridvan and Tav haven't been up the park all the time. More so at Ibrox against certain games, but a lot of the time Tav's playing for deep, and he's knocked a lot of long passes up deep as well for the goal that Dessers scored. His first one when he got 2 the other week.
So like that, the Ridvan, I thought he got a smashing, and a bit like Stevie when I first saw him coming out on the Ibrox on the pitch, and I thought to myself, my God, he's really small. He looked like I don't know what height he is. He might be 5'10", I don't know. But he doesn't look, he looked like 5'6", you know. Maybe that's because he's up against, you're standing next to bigger guys. But my goodness, he can play football, and he's fearless. A difficulty with a person like that, and is, shall we say, he's a challenge, with his height challenge, is when the ball's in the air. And a lot of the teams that we play in our league, they fire long high balls into particularly our fullbacks who aren't as big as the centre halves, that kind of thing, you know. And it's a bit, one is part of his job he needs to watch out. But I've seen him. Timing's good, and he gets up and gets headers in, and he's fast. He's really good at challenging, good tackler. The only thing wrong with him, you find, is sometimes he gets stray passes from it at bad moments. So bad moments for us as. Other than that, I think Ridvan's a good player, and I actually prefer Ridvan playing for Rangers than Borna. I must be honest. And obviously, Borna's been some guys their hero. He's been a hero to them. Sorry, I think that boy Ridvan's a better player than him.
I think things have got to change, Bridge, eventually, Stuart. We've been used to watching Borna being the mainstay at left back for most of the time that he's been here. So obviously Ridvan was a different type of player. He was younger. He was, as you said, he was a Turkish international. Played loads of games for Besiktas. Played in European games and everything. So he came with experience. More if you probably put him up against like an Adam Devine. There's only maybe a year I'd say a difference in them. Maybe 2 at a push at the most, I think. But you see the difference for that boy to Ridvan for playing for when we signed him. So he came with a sort of hefty price tag. But I think, gain time, I think the man's been playing really well. He's only been caught out once, back post with Shankland. Everybody talked about his height, but I think apart from that, he's been decent. He's been a really good, decent player for us and pretty solid.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you look at his record and Borna's record, Borna's got a habit of getting caught at the back too. He's kind of like a rabbit in the headlights at times, and he seems to slash at the ball and stuff like that. I'm not slagging him, I'm just saying that every dog has their day. Well, can he get to that stage where I think he's reached that stage? Still a good player, still good to have, but come the summer, I think his contract's up. I think he'll go anyway, and he'll bring somebody younger, a bit fresher in, and he'll fight for Ridvan for the place. But for me, Ridvan's got the shirt the new, and I like what Bridge was saying earlier. The way he comes in, that creates a wee bit of space for Cortez, because with the two of them, Borna on the wing, Cortez has got to come in, because Borna's not got the pace to get by people, whereas Cortez has got the trickery and the pace. With Borna, I knew he made the goal for the cup final, he chipped it there sort of thing, but he doesn't do that a lot, get by the man and then cut it back. He's kind of crossing in with a curler sort of thing. And we're not really good at that, with kind of set pieces or balls coming into the box. A lot, particularly set pieces. So I think we need to improve on that. And we were talking earlier about the best defence, but I don't know what you think. I still get the fear when a corner comes in or anything like that, because I feel if we do get to the ball, it kind of bubbles about a bit. You remember the 2-2 draw at Ibrox where the wee Japanese boy got the ball in. Jack had a slash at, Goals had a slash at, it's bouncing about like a ping pong ball. And that's happened a lot. I'm like, Jesus Christ, just get that ball out of here. The one Sima headed it back into that Bernardo and everything. So we need to get better at that. But you can't blame Ridvan for that. I think he's great at anticipating the ball when the ball's coming in. You see him getting in first, and he's quite robust. So I think he's the future. Somebody that's coming in is going to take the shirt. It's like McCausland. Somebody that's coming in is going to take the shirt off the guy. And as yet, he's got the shirt. That's what I'm saying.
Aye, he seems to have, Stuart. It seems to be Tav's got the other jersey full-back position, and probably Conor. And obviously the managers we've seen rotate Stevie, but the one player that never seems to rotate at the back unless he's out injured or he's suspended, Conor Golson. He seems to keep the jersey no matter what, and it's always the guy who's going to play on the left to fight for the jersey. So it seems to be his mainstay, and that's what's helped keep a decent record, Stevie, at the moment, with the league goals that we've conceded. We've conceded the less than anybody else in the league, so it's obviously been working. We've got 11 clean sheets in the last 18 league games.
So why would you change it? Why would you, I mean, at the end of the day, Conor Golson, say what you want about him, he's getting older and he's maybe lacking half a yard to now, and it's only going to get worse next season. But he's a vice captain. He's a vice captain for a reason. He's in that team. Big Clement's watching him at training all the time and what they're putting in and who's the influences, who's the guys, senior players putting their arms around the young team and the new guys. Look, Big Golson, say what you want about him. We all moan at times, but see when he's not in that defence, we've seen, when was it? Was it Hearts? It was
Hibs away. Hibs,
was it? Aye. So, we've seen it, didn't we? So, look, what can't speak can't lie. You've just read the stats out, and I already know there's games where teams aren't even getting shots on target. You've got to give the defenders credit. You've got to give them credit at times. They've turned it around. they've went for can he keep hens out of midden to their stats there that you just read out, mate. You've got to give them a bit of credit, the boys, you know.
Bridge, you still want 6'8", built like I was going to say built like Arnie Schwarzenegger, commanding in the air and takes bodies now and again. I think that's what you're looking for, Bridge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's obviously a bit old-fashioned to a certain extent, but I'm looking for. I watch the English Premier League. I watch Match of the Day and as many live games as I can see in England, and there's some smashing players there, and they're no, Erling Haaland or anything like that, you know. There's some good centre halves, and the boy that plays for Brighton, I quite like him. Duncan, his name is. I think he's a smashing centre half, and big tall fella, heads the ball, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone fearless, in the defence, fearless, get in there and head the ball out. And I again, go back to our fullback. If I could, I would draw a line now, say anybody we bring in at fullback has got to be over 6 feet tall, 6'1", 6'2". That's what they've got to be. No good bringing someone in at 5'8" or something. That's my thoughts, you know. And that to me gives you a bit of balance with big fellas. One big centre half and a captain, big monster, 6'5" or something like that, you know, a killer. So you'll not pass me, don't matter what, you know. And that's fight for the jersey and fight for the Rangers all the time. That's what I want. I want to see someone. And I don't know, mention Goldson. I'm a big fan of Goldson, or I have been. But I see the words that you were saying, I'm starting to see weaknesses in him. And it's probably, I don't want to be unkind, but it's probably that he's lost about half a yard. Now, half a yard at the top of Premier League is a fucking mile. Seriously, that's a really, really long, a lot, an awful lot to lose. And within 2 paces, the guy's past you. And then he's keeping going. You know? So you're going to, every pace he takes, you're not catching him, you're losing half a pace. It's really difficult. And I just love Connor Goldson. I like him not to jump in, move the guy out, shove him with your body, whatever you've got to do, just shove him out the way, out towards the wing, and then let the fullback leather him, whatever he wants to do with him. Because Goldson, his name's all over the papers with handballs and bad tackles and goodness knows what. I think Goldson's a better player than a lot of folk give him credence for. But we all know he's not as fast now as he was.
I think, Stuart, we're not conceding as many shots at goal. We seem to have a structure when we're sort of going forward, or it's maybe the fact that we're 2 fullbacks, aren't right at the bylines putting balls in. Tav still goes up the park, comes inside, but he's doing a lot of crossing for a wee bit deeper at times, and he's trying to link play. But remember we used to be open on the right hand side. We used to say we're getting scudded down the wings. We don't seem to be getting opened up, Stuart. I don't think, you know. I think he's got a structure and how he's let them go forward at times, but no too often. So we don't seem as open, I don't think, Stuart.
I think you're right. I think Lundstrom kind of blocking that up a wee bit as well. Kind of helping the situation. And as you say, Tav's not going forward. I think Tav's fitter now than what he's ever been. I really do. I used to think sometimes when he's running by, he looked a bit laboured looking, but he seems to have a wee bit more energy. They all do. I think the training's helped them all, if you can what I mean. I really do. I mean, as Brad says, Goldson's lost a wee bit. But if you look at it, and you're talking about heighty people and all that, if you look at 2 cases, you had Davy Weir, I can't remember what age he played, but he certainly wasn't as fast as Goldson. So, but he was an effective player. He was a good reader of the game. He was good in the air. He was a good general all-round player. He looked after his cell, all that kind of thing. Look at the other side of the coin. One of the best defenders in recent times, you know who I'm talking about, Italian Baresi. He wasn't a particularly big guy, but by all means, you would have gotten any team of that era as a first-pick defender. So a lot of it's sort of about adapting your style. All right, I've lost a half year, I've done this, I've done that. And I think he could, and Clement will see that, and he'll maybe mould him into, he has moulded them into it, let's be honest about it. Look at the goals against over the last 5 years. I've not looked at it per se, but this has got to be the best year, and that's championship sort of winning sort of form, the amount of goals. You see all the teams that's probably won the league over the years, they've probably had the best defensive record. That's maybe one for the stats people. Say the last whatever, even during England, what was the kind of defensive record like? Pretty good, up in the top three, especially in England, maybe score more goals. So I think he's sort of improved that, and he'll know what the weaknesses are at the back, and he'll be looking to kind of, what he's done, he's put sticking plaster on a lot of things, and now get it to the summer, be a lot of folk, you never know what this guy's got to do, Clement. He really is a master at the kind of disguise. He's getting people to work for him now, and he knows what he's wanting to do at the summer. We've got to come back bigger, better, stronger in the summer. That if we get this league under one, the new chapter, it's going to be good. Next year's going to be, this year's great if we win the league, but next year would be unbelievable. Really, I'm looking forward to it. It's exciting. We're all kind of on a high. You tell that by the fans. We're all kind of really on a high. We all.
Aye, you might like a good title race, but it's no good for the heart, Stevie, is it? No, I'd rather be just won it round about March sometime. Know what I mean? And that was it done. To be honest, sure. Everybody thinks it's exciting and all that, but it's no. You just want to get it won as soon as you can, Stevie, didn't you?
I know.
Aye. Oh, for me, man, it isn't any good for the Hearts outside. You know, we're just all desperate for the team to do well and get us on that line. And as soon as it can be done, I want it to be done. I don't want it to go to the wire or nothing like that. Goal difference there is. I want it done, and that's it. I want it in the bag. But listen, Southside, going to give me these stats again, mate. Give me these stats again.
11 clean sheets in the last 18 league games.
That is apps. So is that under Clement?
Aye.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? I wouldn't like to see the stats before he came in, but that's unreal. That is absolutely unreal. And I think there's been 3 games where the opposition haven't even had a shot at our goal, and that is frightening. To say that teams not had a shot at your goal a full 90 minutes. Well, some cases it's a lot more than 90 minutes. You know, unbelievable. The big man's lost 1 game since he came in. He's lifted the whole club single-handedly, by the way. No single-handedly. I've got to give credit to guys like Alec Ray, and I can't mind his right-hand man's name.
Van der Hayden.
Aye. So you've got to give credit to these guys. They're working their socks off for these players and all. And guys like Alec Ray, right Rangers men for Denison are belting it in there going, keep your eye on him. This is what this is about. This is what this club's about. This is what, so you've got to give him the due. The big man's, he's the guy there. He's getting the last say and everything and the nod. But these boys have worked their socks off with him, and the players have bought into it, by the way, and the fans have bought into it, and I've no doubt the chairman will buy into it in the summer and give the big man a right few quid to spend. So things are all looking good for us guys.
Well, you did mention him there, Bridge. You mentioned Alex Ray. We all spoke on the show. People kept saying, will Stephen Davis get it? Well, he's got the credentials. We want a Rangers man. Loads of names were flung out there for Neil McCann, Thompson, Barry Ferguson, MD else that you wanted that's had a connection with the club. But Alex Ray looks like he had the credentials. He's done management, he's been assistant manager, he's been at the club, he's been a player, he's played in England, he knows the game, he's at the right age. So it looks like he ticked all the boxes, Bridge.
Well, looks like it, but my honest opinion of that was I don't know if Stephen Davis is even around for Clement or not. But he probably is. But Alex Ray, it's all going to happen at summertime, in my opinion, if Clement's going to cement it between now and the summer, when the summertime comes, or transfer window opens. They might decide to keep Alex Ray there. I think Alex Ray does a good job for us. He's not as open anymore in the open, he's more, shall we say, behind the scenes with the coaching side of things, and and cheering people up, I would imagine. He does need, I think we've all said that, he does need local people, if you follow what I mean. Scottish people, old Rangers men, you need them. And who could you say is better than Alex Ray, So there's a number of people from a management perspective are above management. But I can't believe we don't have Gordon Smith in our ranks. I just can't believe it. I think he's an absolute wow for a really good director type job, brilliant. Anyway, I'm boring you with that one. So what can I say? I'm very happy with Clement. He does no wrong for me, and let him keep it that way, please.
Aye, his name's been mentioned a few times, Gordon Smith. He was a good player for us, to be honest. Scored a lot of goals, him and Derek Johnston. But Stuart, I think Alex Ray, like everybody looked at, he's done management. He's been with McLeish as well. He's done at Wolves. He's been a player first and foremost at the club, and probably seems to be the right person. Phil Clement seems to think he is anyway, and he seems to be taking quite a bit of training and stuff. When you see some of the training videos, maybe a buffer between the players and the management.
Aye, you definitely need that. You need to get that cohesion going. And you've got to look beyond that to the sides and the recruitment. These two guys that's come in, Cortez and their guy Diamondo, I mean, they look really two good signings. You know what I mean? Their value on them. So they're all involved in this whole thing. We don't know the full setup as yet, how it's working. They're always a bit of kind of, it's quite new, it's quite fresh, and there's a lot of good things kind of going on in the background that we probably didn't know about. Everything this guy does, I love when his press conference, nobody knows what he's got to do, nobody knows what the team's got to be. We're all on edge. I know what you're saying about the hurt and all that, and I think it's just a good feeling. You're looking forward to the games, you're looking forward to reading about everything, see if there's anything new. He's got everybody sitting on the edge of their seat, waiting. And everybody, I'm talking about us punters, the new, especially the news guys, because they get on my nerves the way they talk, commentators, the way they're kind of try to trap them and everything. It's too smart for them. And look, I'm going to go away, but I'll leave you with one prediction with the heart attack thing with the title. What I'm going to say is Celtic, Rangers and Celtic at Ibrox, for me, will be the league decider. That's got to be the league decider. We beat them 2-3-0. That's it. It's done. You no need to worry about a heart attack. We'll be that far ahead. Now that's what I'm looking forward to. Getting that game. Maybe going about 8 points clear or whatever, 7 or 8 points clear. Going into the split, lovely. That's what I think. That's what I'm hoping for. Look, I know the tune's coming up, guys, but look, thanks for taking my call, and I just thought I'd leave you with that thought.
Brilliant.
No, thanks for coming on, mate.
No bother. Thanks for taking my call. Cheers, guys. Right, cheerio.
Cheerio. That day you, Stevie. That would days all in here, wouldn't it?
Keep his number, by the way, because we did beat them 2-3-0, and I'm for him and taking for a beer. There you go. Aye, he's a good caller. Nice, sensible guy. Came on with a lot of good points. Definitely, aye. Nice guy. I hope he's right, Southside man, because this is no good for the heart. I don't know.
Listen, you always get ups and downs following your team, as we know, Bridge. It's happened. It's us three have seen title races, right? It's a young team that's not seen maybe a title race, and if Stuart's right, then hopefully we'll just nail it early. So if you two talk about nailing it early, if you two guys would like to go on mute, we're going to hear a tune.
Right.
Ever since I recall, I have followed football, and ingrained in my heart are the Rangers FC. Through good and the bad, times of happy or sad, it will always be Rangers for me. For when I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'll be Rangers for life. And I vowed to my dad, if I do have a lad, I will show him the way, as he did on that day. So now here I stand, with young Lyle by the hand, after walking down Paisley Road West. For when I was a lad, I was led by the hand, down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. There's a great sense of pride that I feel deep inside when I'm watching the Jazz with my father and son. And it's sure safe to say, at the end of the game, win or lose, we will all follow on. For when I was a lad, I was led by the hand, down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. For when I was a lad, I was led by the hand, down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. That beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Do you like that one, Stevie?
You could do a wee dashing white sergeant of that.
Aye.
Imagine.
Aye.
Was that Egan? That was really Egan, wasn't
it? No, that version. It wasn't, no.
Was it? No.
No. Oh, it was. Well, I'm getting told it was. Sorry. My apologies.
I was going to say.
With the arrow, yeah. When it comes to music, I know you're the director of music, mate. Sorry. Should have bowed to your knowledge.
Why on my knee? No.
As we were saying, listen, there's a big week coming up, actually, because obviously we've got the game on Saturday against Hearts, who's probably got the best striker in the league at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
We've also got a European draw to look forward to on Friday.
Yep.
We'll find out who we get in that. And then we'll go and play Kilmarnock after it on the Wednesday night. And if we get these 6 points, big man, right, we nail these 6 points, then you look at the way the fixtures are favouring us, we could be 5 points clear of them after Saturday. They've got to go to Fir Park. Now, if Motherwell beat them, we're 5 points clear. 5 points clear. Get the right result at Kilmarnock. Doesn't matter what they do against whoever they play on the Wednesday, but that 5 point gap, beat them at Ibrox. I'd imagine then it's just a matter of just seeing it out. That's what I'd be thinking, mate. Seeing it out, and then we could concentrate in Europe and all.
Aye. Well, see, while you're talking about Europe there, who do you fancy being the European campaigner? Who do you fancy?
I've had a wee look at it. I can give you a wee list. I think I wrote it down. Hold on, I think I've got it somewhere. There's a few. There's Freiburg, Marseille, Sparta Prague, Sporting Lisbon, Rennes, Toulouse, Qarabag, Roma, Galatasaray, Lens, Braga, Benfica, Feyenoord, AC Milan, Young Boys and Shakhtar.
Who do you fancy with that lot?
I'll take
I'll tell you, but is there many you would fear, to be honest? AC Milan, right?
AC Milan. Aye. They don't want them up.
Benfica aren't they bad, right? I think. The rest of them, Roma, Qarabag, Toulouse, Rennes, Sparta Prague. You know, surely you got to think they're good enough to beat any of that lot.
Yeah.
Feyenoord are in there. Anybody at Ibrox will be away from home in the first game on the 7th of March with a return on the 14th.
That's
And
beneficial for us, isn't it?
Aye,
that's
Bridge, you would think that. Aye, you'd like to be away from home first, eh?
Aye. Certainly used to think like that when I was younger. You know, I always wanted to play away. And you know you've got coming back, and the fans are up for it and things like that, you know.
Well, the one thing is the fans will definitely be up for it, Stevie. Eh?
Aye, Ibrox. I mean, everybody knows when they come to Ibrox in Europe, they're going to get a game in it, and the crowd's just unbelievable in it. You know, you've got players all over the world telling you, you know, the best atmosphere ever stuff had is at Ibrox. You know, say what you want, give or take with some of them. But listen, mate, as long as we can avoid Milan, I think we're quite capable of going anywhere and keeping the back door shut, aren't we? You know, so with that record, we're under big club on, you know, if we could just fight for and scratch and cheat for every ball and then bring whoever back to Ibrox, I fancy us back at Ibrox for anybody.
I'll be honest, I think it's hard for us, right, to keep, as much as it breaks my heart to say it, we have conceded goals in Europe in the last few seasons, you know, even playing and still going through. It's the one thing, Bridge, that we play in a league where we dominate the ball, and when we get away, we usually get it back again quite quickly. But you've got to adapt your style and game in Europe to try and suit what we're trying to do, because our league isn't conducive to how the teams play football around about Europe. And I think that's how the teams like Motherwell, when they go in and Hibs or Hearts and all that, when they all go into Europe, Aberdeen, they're usually out quicker than they're in, because they defend every week. They play an anti-football. So they'll always find it harder to go into Europe and try and compete, because they don't try and play football week in, week out. So, but for us, I think, as much as I hate to say it, we usually always all concede goals in Europe, Bridge, just because you're playing against better quality that punish you.
That's a good point. But we know that as a support, we know that, because we're not the most prolific goal scorers in the whole world. Sometimes we surprise ourselves and get 3 or 4 away from home, which is wonderful, you know. But it's, you know, Europe, I just absolutely love it, and I'm following it. I'm not following, of course, not like you guys, but I'll be watching every single game, and all my heart will be pumping, and I'll be Ibrox and for the home games, and that's what I want. I just love them. I like Rangers being involved, which is the best thing in the world for us. Get involved, be involved, win your games, particularly home games, and you'll be feared in Europe. You'll be feared, and we have been feared in the past for sure, not in the recent past as well. So I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait for Rangers to get tore into them and see how we go on. Irrespective of who we draw, I think we'll always have a chance at Ibrox for me.
I read somewhere outside, don't know if the quote was true or no, but if we were in the Champions League next season, we'd be a pot 2 mob. There you go.
I will. Maybe. I've not actually seen it yet, Stevie, but our coefficient points are well up there for what we've done for the last number of seasons.
Aye. I was just reading that we'll definitely be at like pot 2, so we'd You know, so, I mean, that's unbelievable what we've done in Europe. Nearly year in, year out, we've punched above our weight in some of the games with Dortmund and teams like that, you know. Unreal. I remember Porto away, I know, you go way back as far as Gerrard. No, Porto away, Benfica, you know, there's a lot of great teams we've went, no, and we've done
Villarreal, Feyenoord.
Yeah.
We should have beat Villarreal and I gave away stupid goals, but that's the thing in Europe, Stevie. You get punished. When you give the ball away, normally you're either picking it out your net or it's going to be a bye kick or a corner. Because you know,
remember, but these teams are spending hundreds of millions of pounds. We'll know, you know, we've got to remember that as well. I mean, an average player in a Villarreal team, much is it? They're all 30 million quid and up.
Aye, they're buying players that we're taking on loan, like Silva at £35 million. The reality is, but if you're structured and you've got a plan and you've got tactics and you stick to it, you can see what you can achieve. We've always got to be above our average in Europe. No, what we've done, when I was in Manchester, Stevie, and I was at that final, I never thought, to be honest, I mean, it's took me that long to see Rangers get to a final. I never thought I would see another European final, to be honest, in my lifetime. And then we were sitting there under Pedro and all that and looking at the nonsense that we were watching. Progress needed come, man. We were miles away from it. Miles. Until Stevie G came in and totally changed our whole European philosophy and how we could go and achieve it. And when we were going abroad, you believed you were going to go and win. That was the mental thing. Like, we're not getting beat tonight. We're winning. If we don't win, we're not getting beat. And we had some amazing results for the piece, which has put us into where we are. And then obviously we went on the run with Gio, you know, which took us into it. And you ride your luck bridge as well. What you have to do in Europe as you go through the rounds, probably saying in that run, if Dortmund had Haaland, it might have been a different story. But we went out that night and Dortmund had absolutely battered them. I couldn't believe what I was watching that night. Bridge.
Yeah, 100%. Look, Europe, as I tried to say earlier, I just love watching European games. And sometimes we batter teams and we're unfortunate we never scored enough or something like that. And other times we get great goals and the scoreline tells you we'll give them a doing. But the play itself didn't necessarily show that. My goodness gracious, we're a team of battlers. We have got a team of battlers, and we should do well. Seriously, we should do well in Europe because of the form that we've got and the never say die attitude at the moment. It's really good, and I hope the manager can continue the form we've got at the present and go into Europe with a really good form behind us and be confident. Because we need to get the confidence up to play in there. Because we didn't have a great Champions League, did we? No, truth be told.
Yeah, it's all about levels sometimes, Bridge, and that.
Indeed.
And you need to have a man. Our manager doesn't fear anybody, Stevie. He's already said it. It doesn't matter who we're playing. We'll go to win. That's his mentality. Nothing's unachievable. You know, and he's already got as a first silverware of the season sitting in the trophy room. So it's about believing in the players, believing in getting the right type of draw. I mean, if we get Shakhtar Donetsk, I'll just let the techie team know because he said it was about travelling. They play in Hamburg, so it's like a home game for us. Aye, it's getting a bit of luck, Stevie. But when you look through some of the teams, get the right draw. Then obviously while we're playing that, we've got a matter of taking care of Hibs in between then and the Sunday at Easter Road in the Scottish Cup quarter final. So listen, we've got loads to look forward to, have we no?
Oh man, unreal. Once again, it's all about getting tickets and stuff. But can I just touch on that? I think the draws between 11 and 12 o'clock on Friday, isn't it? I've no doubt, no matter what workplace or where you are, or the Bears will be in the tranny. It's brilliant, isn't it? And needless to say, the other mob for East into the city are their best spewing, you know. So brilliant, great, exciting times ahead. And Man, can you imagine if we did get Shakhtar in Hamburg, man, the Hamburg fans would fall.
That's what I said, it's a home game, we're a wee trip out there.
It'd be a total home game. You'd be totally right. I mean, there was 15 of the boys we here for Drum Chapel were in Hamburg 2 weeks ago for one of the games. They went to the castle, as they call it, and they done all the Rangers pubs along Hamburg, and they're all just Rangers orientated. I love the Rangers in Hamburg. So, that would be a great trip for the Bears, if we did manage to get them. But listen, you had the nail on the head. It's just one game after the other, and everything's very important as the other. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's all thanks to Big Phil and the team.
Aye, 100%. That's what happens when you get a proper manager, as we keep saying. But aye, we've got that to look forward to. Another home game, looking forward to that when the time comes. But most importantly, it's probably a wee sideshow for us, because all focus, Bridge, for us is just getting this league title win. And obviously, then you start thinking of the Scottish side, so you're looking to go and we'll get the Scottish Cup. But everybody's main focus right now is on this, and is just winning this league.
Yeah, back to one of my favourite sayings is the next game is the biggest of the season, biggest game of the season coming up. And by the way, they're a tough team in their own patch. Then tough wee team. And I think you mentioned earlier how you highlighted the fact that they've got Shankland is scoring a lot of goals in Scotland at the moment. So that'll be interesting to see how we cope with someone like that, and the rest of the team, of course. I don't fear them in any way, shape, or form. I think Rangers should win that game. I'm hoping they win it, of course, but I think they should. I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited.
Well, we were the last team to beat Hearts, Bridge. I think they've in their last 11, they've won 9 and drew 2. They're coming with the top goal scorer, Stevie. Aye, we'll need to be on alert. Right, let's not be kidded, because the boys sniffing out chances. And you've seen some of the goals that he scored. He scored a couple of instinctive goals. But I don't fear Hearts coming. If you probably look at the last time they bet us there, it'll be a wee while ago. And if they did sneak one in the last few years, it'll be a long time before they beat us before that, probably. So your record at home should be well capable of taking care of Hearts. I know you've got to, it's on the day, but they've got a couple of decent players, and they might come and fancy their chances. It'll depend how that I'm going to try and be polite here. I was going to call him something else. Let's say I wouldn't invite him back for the half-time draw at Ibrox, but unfortunately he's going to turn up tomorrow and Saturday's their manager. I'll leave it at that.
I know who exactly he used to be Milky Bar Kid, the same colour of hair.
Oh, that's a great player, but no, I wouldn't have him back for the half-time draw ever if I could have helped it, mate, honestly. Him and Whittaker.
His comments.
Is that what you're speaking about? Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Can I just say something, Southside? Look, I'm the same as you. We've got to proceed with caution here. Hearts are coming to Ibrox. They're on a bit of a run. They've got a guy that knows how to put the ball in the pokey. But let's not read into it too much. If we can keep Shankland quiet, then who else is a threat? I know they've got a couple of good other players, but let's be honest. If we can keep Shankland quiet, as our defence has been playing great, and we're at Ibrox, I really can't see where if we can keep Shankland quiet, where their threats are going to be for it. Maybe set pieces, just flinging that ball and constantly just pop the high ball into Rangers box, But look, Hearts are coming. We're on a high. We're on a great run. You're talking about Hearts on a few games. So are we. And we've got 50,000 Bears there. Well, 45, 47. They'll bring a couple of them into. So I can't see nothing but a Rangers win, mate. And I know it's going to be a hard game, and I'm not saying we're going to coast it by any manner of means. But let's be honest. That guy you're talking about, I'll not mention his name either. he's going to want to come out with a wee point to prove, and so is Shankland for that matter. You know what I mean? Look what you should have had in your team, sort of thing. But look, we're Rangers, we're at home, we're on a run. Big Phil's no daft, he'll have done his homework, and that team will know every game now and is mega important. Mega important.
But obviously Shankland's a worry. I think they've been raving about a couple of the midfielders and they've been playing well, but I don't think they'll really come to attack us. I think they'll come maybe try and work off set pieces and stuff like that. I don't see them coming gung-ho. I think if the game was tight, they might try and fling something towards us, but listen, they went across to the east end of the city and they battered them, and they're supposed to be the greatest team in the world, so I suppose you've got to be wary, but I don't think, on paper, I think we should be beating Hearts. I think we're in the right frame of mind with the right form. I think it's just about creating the chances, taking them, and I think we'll coast the game, but I'd like to think we can get up early in the first half and put the game to bed, Bridge.
Yeah, I think that, as I was trying to say a wee bit earlier, our attitude should be fear nobody. Fear absolutely no one. Welcome them to Ibrox, of course, but my goodness gracious, we shouldn't fear anyone. We should be able to take any team that comes to Ibrox and show them that this is Ibrox, you're not going to beat us here, and it's simple as that. And I don't mean to be too big-headed, but I think we're a far better team than Hearts. But that doesn't mean to say we've not got to be on our guard. We've got to be on top of our game. It's as simple as that. We've got to play the game at Ibrox at our best team, best form. And nobody should go away from Ibrox with points. Nobody. In fact, they shouldn't even get a goal. And that's the way I feel. I'm not saying it's not going to happen like that all the time, but that's the way I feel. That should be our target as a club and a team. Don't give anybody any goals at Ibrox. Nothing.
Quite right. Quite right. I think we'll be joined by a call. I think it's Teddy. How you doing, pal?
Hi, how you doing?
Aye, good, mate. Good. Floor's all yours. Yeah, I can hear you, mate. On you go.
Just missing the midweek football. You used to thing, you know. But just about the European draw. Who you don't want is Carabag. What a journey that would be.
Aye, it certainly would. I think that for a journey. No, you're right. I think I'm just trying to think. Macedonia, I think, was 18 and a half hours or something. So I think Carabag will be up there.
Well, I'll tell you a story about a couple of mates of mine that went to. Was it
Vladikavkaz, aye.
And they made the Sunday Post. The journey was so bad. Trains, planes and automobiles.
That wasn't off, mate. Aye, it certainly was. Aye, Stevie, I think we'll leave Carabag out. Maybe look for something more closer to home, Stevie, would you think?
I would need a tequila rose and I'd need about 25 rolls and chopped pork. Unbelievable. The caller makes a good point. But, okay, listen, see, at the end of the day, Rangers fans, we're in Europe every year. I mean, Southside, many campaigns have you got under your belt? You're up at the 80 odds, aren't you?
Aye, I'm just there the 80 mark, aye.
There you go. So it's not as if you're not going to see Europe again. Listen, anybody at Ibrox, but you're just looking to AC Milan. Is it a bridge too far? Pardon the pun. You know, get teams like that. Yeah, great. I mean, I watched AC Milan the other night and I thought, wow, they're looking good. They're looking really good, you know, and they blew the French team away. I think it was I'm not too sure. Can't remember, but there's a few teams there you want to avoid and try and get them in latter stages. Then it's, you know what I mean, do or die. But no, what a trip that would be, man, all the years. Vladikavkaz, I remember that because I remember Jim telling me, Jim Smith, Southside, telling me stories about that journey, you know, and, you know, the big lad was in your bus, he'd be able to tell you, you know, but crazy stuff. Listen, it's great just to be there on the draw on it. Absolutely brilliant.
Aye, it certainly is, Bridge. Actually, if we hadn't topped the group, Teddy, then I'll come to Bridgeman. If we hadn't topped the group, we'd be playing a game tomorrow night. That's how we're missing this midweek fixture.
That's true. Anyway,
Suppose
I'm going to go.
Right, no bother, Teddy. Thanks very much.
Okay, mate.
Cheers.
Right, Ted.
I suppose it saved us a few shekels, Bridgeman, in the skyrocket this week. We're not having this European fixture, and we're waiting for March the 14th now, although I believe the club will be in soon to take the money out the bank.
I just say that I sometimes envy yourself and Big Stevie going to the European games away, I mean, you know. Because I think the atmosphere is fabulous at Ibrox, and obviously for the crowd that's there, the couple of thousand that go, the atmosphere must be incredible, you know. So, hey, greatest admiration for you. I don't know how many games you've been at in Europe, away in Europe. I have to take my hat off to you, seriously.
Bridgeman.
Exciting time.
Bridgeman. I don't know how many European campaigns I've left the papers on the Monday, and there's my mate Southside in them, but we'll not go into that. What was Southside?
Yeah, listen to you. That's somebody that looks like me. That's no me.
It's not me.
You know, heard that Henry Himmler and his brother, something similar, haven't you? Come on, he's a brick, you. Actually, I'm just going. I'll need to put. There's an email just come in there. You've got HR on Monday. I can't defend you now, mate. I'm afraid. But no, something to look forward to, and like I said, there's some nice trips in there, and I suppose it's just something that the club look forward to. We've heard the finance director talk about it, Stevie. Money in Europe, and that's important for the club to get the money in. So
prestige. That's
aye, you're putting your name back on the map across Europe, Stevie.
Aye, it's all about people in other countries watching the game at Ibrox and seeing the fans all bouncing about and going, wow, what an atmosphere that is. And it's prestige and money and TV rights and sponsorship and you name it. It's about everything. And they get the financial guys rubbing his horns, you know.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at a text come in there. Bridge, what's I going to say? I've lost the plot. Aye, Zach Lovelace, believe it or not, got some minutes in the first team in the B team. He got 60 minutes under his belt.
Massive player, that boy.
Well, listen, he can play on the right, through the middle, or on the left-hand side. He's a big unit. He's still a young boy. He's still learning. He had the exposure at Millwall, Bridge. But I know the games we're running out of games as we're sort of coming into the league. But if he could maybe get himself back fit, he would be an extra option, Bridge, that we could maybe use from time to time. Because, listen, he's big, he's physical, so you're hoping that the boy's probably desperate to get back in the team. And see, to be honest, his injuries gave Ross McCausland the chance to come into the team because he had the right-hand side against St Mirren. And who knows, if he hadn't been out injured, he might have been in our first team by now.
That's another player that we were playing against, another team called St Mirren that managed to get us a player injured. Aye. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. That was an outburst, I'm sorry.
You remember it's
a smashing young player, and he's got a lot in front of him, an awful lot in front of him. So get him as much games as you can without battering him, you know. And I'm sure he'll be a super player for us. Super player.
I think his contract's up about a year. I think the summer he's got a year left, Stevie. We brought him up from Millwall. He had that wee exposure down there. He's been an integral part of the England under 21s and that, under 20s, whatever, because he's still a very young boy. So you wouldn't want to lose him, I think. You'd want to see if we can progress him and see if he'll come on. And I'm thinking if he hadn't took the injury against St Mirren, he'd probably be there or thereabouts in our squad. I see I've got a caller and I'll come back to you in a wee second. So I would like to think, Stevie, that he could push, but with the amount of league games left in that, it might be a wee bit much to see if he'll make it this season. But we've got to try and encourage him with a contract. I'll come to you in a minute, Robert. So hopefully, Stevie, we will maybe get him to re-sign.
Aye, well, look, the problem we've got is, again, every game coming up is important. Europe, Kilmarnock, Hibs and Scottish, every game, Celtic, every game's important. So what do we do? This guy's just coming back for injury. Who do we drop to put him in there in important games, Southside? You know, and it's another good sore head for Big Phil, you know. If he's back, fighting fit and pushing, then it's absolutely brilliant. Look, he's an under 21 internationalist for England. Of course, you don't want to lose a young boy. He came on against St Mirren, he was great, good. Then he got injured, and you're saying to yourself, good, a bit of youth in there with McCausland and Hammond, guys coming through. Of course we want to keep them, but it's getting harder and harder and the pool's getting bigger and bigger. And at some point, we've got to sell some players at some point or who's at the door. But that's all down to the man. Whatever he chooses, then I'll be quite delighted. My favourite's Big Clement, Big Phil.
Aye, faith in Big Phil. I think we'll be joined by Robert. How you doing, Robert?
Evening, Southside, Big Stevie and Bridgeman. Evening, guys. I thought I'd come in and support the show tonight because there's no many people coming in and supporting this great Rangers Radio show, so I thought I'd come in and support it.
Cheers, mate, as always. What would you like to say? On you go. Floor's yours, mate.
Anyway, I'd just like to say, listen, I love the positivity. Big Phil Clement's done a marvellous job with bang average players. If I've got to be honest with ourselves, he's done a marvellous job with bang average players. Let's be honest about it, right? But I want to ask you for a question, right? Now that we're beating the bottom 6 teams in the league, let's be honest about it. And now we're about to face the top 6 teams, i.e. Hearts on Saturday and Kilmarnock on Wednesday. Do you have any confidence? And please, guys, give me your honest opinions. No a Rangers Radio opinion. Give me your honest opinions. Do you believe when we play Hearts and Kilmarnock on Wednesday, these two up front for us are going to get us the goals that count?
They'll need to, Robert. That will give you that answer and I'll come to Stevie. They need to. When you go, Stevie.
Is that all you're going to say, they need to?
No, wait and pass it to you first. No, I mean, you've got to pass it.
Right, I've got to agree with Robert. I'm a bit worried, you know. Look, but again, you're saying to yourself, well, we went to Tynecastle, we went to Easter Road with these guys, you know, and away, 2-day away games, we done all right. Listen, Robert, you've got a point, but it's not just the guys that are scoring for us, you know, and that's the only thing that's given me a wee bit of confidence, and the fact that it's not just Big Deserts or De Silva that's scoring, you know, they're getting goals for all the pitch. So that to me has given me that wee bit of, well, the team's chipping in, you know. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, and you're probably right to come on and put that out there. But I'm going to go along with the window's shut, Robert. We've got to go with him. We've got to get behind him. And I know you will. But I understand what your worry is. And it's a really good question to put out there. And I think if we were honest, we would say probably, when we look at it, we would probably all wish that we had somebody, Franklin there, no, but the bottom line is he's no, mate, and we've just got to deal with what we're doing now and go on with it. But listen, as I said, Big Deserts, but I think we've seen the worst of him. I think he's getting better, Robert. I know he had a couple of run-ins there and he just ran into a brick wall. He didn't do nothing. He tried to get on the keeper. He hit the bar. I mean, he could have had a hat-trick on Sunday if he had his shooting boots on, you know. But he gets his cell in great places, and that's when you miss Kamer Roof, innit?
Yeah, Stevie, Look, but Stevie, can I ask you a question, right? And I know you've been shouting a bit for big Dessers, and I was kind of for the last couple of weeks, but then I watched that game on Sunday, and I know it was on a Cout Park, right? And he missed 3 sitters, Stevie. And I'm sorry, if he had Shanklin, Miovski are a decent striker, they would score at least 2 of these 3 chances. And Stevie, my worry is, see if we play Hearts on Saturday and we get these chances, I'm sorry, if he's through in goal, he's going to miss every time. Stevie, I'm sorry, I need to say this. He is not good enough. He's not, and I know he works hard. Right? I know he does. But I'm sorry, Stevie, we need a striker that can score chances. If you get 3 chances, he's going to score at least once, and he's not doing it. And look at Shanklin, 25 goals this season. Look at Miovski, 22 goals this season, and they're playing in mediocre teams. And he should be up there with these 2, Stevie. That's all I'm saying. And I'm sorry, and that Silver's the same. It deceives. No, honestly, the £33 million for that, and he does stay well. He runs about and all that, but he's doing nothing for us, Stevie. I'm sorry, the 2 of them are doing absolutely nothing for us, and I think this could come back to bite us in the backside when it comes to the real big games against Celtic at Ibrox and name it Parkhead. Stevie, I'm sorry, it's just my opinion, and I hope I'm totally wrong. I hope Big Dessers goes out there Saturday and scores a hat-trick against Hearts. But Stevie, I'm being honest with you, I can't see that happening. In a million years, I can't see that happening. Tavernier's more likely to score a hat-trick than Dessers or Silver is. Only my opinion.
See, the thing is, right, Dessers is a number 9. He plays on the hangway. Silver's not a number 9. Silver's not a natural goal scorer. And I get, we all said we should have signed a striker, but we didn't. And I kept saying, see if we don't, we just need to go with what we've got. Simple as that. And if that's going to be good enough to win as a league, fair enough, because the defence is keeping it tight. And we need a better defence, Robert. So we know where we are. We're nowhere near a finished article. We've got money to spend. We've got to rebuild a team, basically, again. Unfortunately, if we want to get better. But and another thing, I'm Rangers Radio never have an opinion collectively. Everybody comes on this show, they all have their own opinions, right? It's whatever I say is my opinion, whatever Stevie says in Bridgeman, and like yourself, Robert. So there isn't a collective opinion ever on Rangers Radio. Somebody might ask a question and some people might agree with it and some don't. But there's never a collective. All right, just so you know.
Right, Southside, answer me this before you bring Bridge in. Answer me this, Southside, then. Why did we spend 2.7 million on Silver when we could have put another couple $100,000 to get Warren Shanklin? Southside, going to answer me that question. Why did your manager spend 2.7 million on Silver, who's not a striker, and we all know he's not a striker? Why did we spend that kind of money for another few $100,000 we could have had Warren Shanklin? Answer me that question.
Who said it's 2.7 million, Robert?
Because no, here we go. It's 2.7 million.
I'm asking you how do we know it's 2.7 million? Also, I'm asking because I don't. I'm only asking you how do you know?
Well, that's the talk. That's the talk it's going about all Rangers fans Southside. And please, this is what Rangers fans do. They all deny it. They all deny the truth.
I don't know, Robert. I'm being honest with you. I'm telling you, I don't read all that what people put up, and I don't go with what people say. I go with what I get told, or if I get any information for somebody, if I was allowed to share it, I would share it. But a lot of stuff I don't. But I don't know, Robert. I'm being honest. So if you're right, then fair enough. Maybe Hearts would have wanted more than that, Robert, for Shanklin. Then maybe.
You know? Right, but Southside, even if we didn't bring in Shanklin or we didn't bring in Miovski and we don't have the money, I understand that we might have not had the money to bring in Shanklin, right? They wanted 5 million. But then you could have brought in Van Veen as a stopgap to the end of the season. Our manager did not bring in a striker, and that alarms me. That really alarms me. Why did our manager, who's doing a brilliant job, why did he not bring in a striker? That's the question I'm asking.
Don't know, Stevie.
Can I answer the question regarding Shanklin? Does it ever cross anybody's mind that Big Phil might not fancy him?
Why would you not fancy Shankland when he scored 25 goals this season? Stevie, why would you not fancy Shankland when he's a blue nose, he's one of us, and you know he's going to come in and score goals for us? Stevie, why would your manager not fancy him?
Because I'll tell you, because he might be wanting to sign somebody in the summer. He might have his eye on a Belgian player or somebody else that he's seen. He might be just no fancy Shankland. I mean, because he's a blue nose, he's not going to sign him because he's a blue nose.
I understand that, but there's £40 million up for grabs, Stevie. There's £40 million up for grabs, and we cannot take that chance, and we have taken that chance. We have taken that chance. If Shankland was playing against St Johnstone, we would have won 5-0, no 3-0. If Shankland was playing against Aberdeen, we would have won whatever, and the same against Ross County. I'm sorry. If we signed Shankland, we would be scoring a lot more goals, and we would probably be real favourites to win this league, and Celtic really would have been crapping themselves more than they have the now, Stevie. So I don't get this about he didn't fancy. No, he did fancy Shankland because he went up and cuddled him on the park and all that. And it's a well-known fact that Philip Clement wanted Lawrence Shankland, and our board couldn't push the boat out to get him. That's a well-known fact. And ask any Ranger fan, they'll tell you the same. What Philip Clement wanted Lawrence Shankland, and our board done the usual. They've not got any. They didn't want to sign him. And I'm not going to get into it.
Robert, I don't know if that's 100%. You might be right. I don't know if Phil Clement wanted him, right? I don't. But I'll tell you what, if he's hanging on the now and we can carry on, I think we've been joined by Derek. How you doing, Derek?
All right, guys. Right, yeah, not too bad, mate. How are you all doing? You okay?
Aye, on you go, mate. Floor's yours. What would you like to say, pal?
So just a couple of points. So jumping in the Lon Shankland thing, I don't think he's the golden goose who's going to lay all the goals for the start off. Philippe Clement keeps talking about playing style that scores for the top third, and he wants multiple goals for different positions within the team. And the guy's not a moron. If he's seen actual value within Lawrence Shankland, that's this kind of like front man who you put all your money on. That's not how he plays. He plays a team game, and the team game is based on whoever's in the position, who's the most effective, get the goal. So this kind of like this traditional way of playing football where you had your Wayne Rooney and your Ronaldo and all these people up front. That's not how Philippe Clement sees his team. He sees his team as a collective. No, it is an individual that's the spear at the end, who you pass the ball to, who gets an extra couple of goals. So the first point is we play as a collective team. We don't play as individuals, and we don't rely on a striker. We as you see with Diamondi and Tavernier and that kind of thing. So we need to lose that. The second thing is, what's this idea that we have in our brains that Lawrence Shankland can score against two banks of five? Like, where is he getting the space? Like, where is he demonstrated this? He didn't do it in Belgium. He's done it in Hearts for 18 months, but where are we getting this idea that teams that play against Hearts don't play the same way they play against Rangers? They don't set up the same way. They set up to try and beat Hearts. So they get the additional space. So a 28-year-old guy for Hearts is not going to revolutionise a Rangers squad who want to go deep into a Champions League and a Europa League and win multiple league titles. Like, we just need to lose that idea. I get he's a good player, but he's no the answer to all our problems. We just need to let that go and trust the manager. So my first point is, let's get away from this golden goose guy, Lawrence Shankland. If he was here, we'd be better off. We're 2 points ahead. We've turned out an 8-point deficit in the last 16 in the Europa League. We won the Scottish Cup. Philippe Clement's turned the entire team around. And the basic point I wanted to say was, again, after the Lawrence Shankland thing, is like Philippe Clement is his press conferences to assuage the anxiety of Rangers supporters. So there is no reason I want, but I really enjoy his press conferences. And given that we've got Hearts and Kilmarnock next, it'd be good to hear from him again, just to try and get rid of some of that anxiety, because Hearts are an alright team and Kilmarnock are an alright team. And I feel that when he does the press conferences, it addresses some of the anxiety within the Rangers support. The same anxiety you feel in the stadium when we're 1-1 against Ross County. That's everything. What do you think of the effectiveness of Philippe Clement's press conferences directly? We are now 2 points ahead, like dealing with our fan base anxiety about actually winning the league, because I feel he creates a calmness, a steadiness, And if he's doing that with the team, I feel he kind of transfers that to the fans as well. So my original point was kind of stupid. It was just I thought his press conferences lend to the fan base the same thing that lends to the team, which is a calmness and a steadiness when we're playing Hearts and Kilmarnock.
Aye, no, you're right, Derek. You're right in what you're saying. He was asked, will you look at the top of the league table? And he said no in his press conference. I'll come to Bridge next. He said no. I think it's just take a game at a time, Derek, as he said, because this is where it's got us to where we are the new Bridge. I think Derek makes a lot of good points. I think Robert I agree slightly with Robert to a point that I think he would score goals in a Rangers team, but I have looked at it long term as well, Bridge, and Lawrence Shankland doesn't fit the profile of what we're trying to do. If we're trying to move players on and buy them in and make them into that type of player that scores goals and then they move on, or any player in any position that's going to be successful, we'll both Diamandia, and he's no staying for the duration. He's getting flipped in a couple of years, Bridge.
Yeah, well, I dare say that's some sort of plan that's been hatched. And he's a young lad, and if he hits it, then he's going to move on. And I dare say that's what the club would like to do. As far as Shankland's concerned, I don't want to go into it too much. You already know how I feel. And I'm quite passionate about the way I feel about that. But they're not taking anything away from the guy. The guy's playing very, very well. He's top of his form. And, they may be hatching a plan at Ibrox that says, well, his contract's up at the end, I think it's next season. But the following season, or the next season from today, they might be able to look at him and say, yeah, let's sign a pre-contract and do something in that line. I just don't know, honestly. I think if you look at the goals that the Dessers have scored, he's done well. 13 or 14 goals or something like that, It's pretty good. He's never going to be, the way things, as far as we've seen, he's not going to be a Shankland. But my God, if anybody can help him, I'm sure Clement can help him insofar as his confidence and so on in the box. And what's the next move to do when the ball's at your feet? You can't ever got a centre forward that goes in against a goalkeeper 3 times and can't get the ball past him. It's just, it's just quite unseemly, for me. Rangers.
Aye, he was on. He should have scored. He should have scored, Bridge. I know the first one he runs in, he should score. The heater, I think he was unlucky, and the other goal, I think he should have probably. But I think we've been joined with a caller, so I think it's Gary. Are you there, Gary?
Hi, good evening, guys. So I'm phoning a wee bit later tonight than normal, but I think I get Robert's point about the striker. It was, for me, before the window shut, I was on the show and said, for me, 3 things had to happen: sign a striker, get Cantwell back on his game, and keep Lawrence fit. We've got 2 out of the 3 of them so far. I still think we're over the line. I don't know what you guys think, but in my mind, if we can win the next 2, I think one hand's on that trophy, and I think at that point, the momentum will kind of become unstoppable. And I think that'll kind of take us over the line. But it might be a wee bit tighter than it otherwise would have been if we'd have got an out-and-out striker in. But you can't be anything but absolutely delighted the way it's went the past few weeks.
Derek, what do you think about Gary's point, sir?
I think a striker is a summer job. It's a big recruitment push, and we're gonna have to Neil back in the summer. Fingers crossed. Roof will probably be gone, and Dessers is only improving. And I just don't buy into it. So we definitely need a striker. There's no doubt about that. But the idea that Lawrence Shankland is a golden goose who's going to lay all the trophies at his ass, I'm not buying into that. I just don't think that teams play the same way against Hearts as they play against Rangers. He's played in other leagues, and although his current performances are good and he's doing well, you can kind of see the recruitment team at Rangers looking at Van Veen and looking at Lawrence Shankland. But you've got to think higher. You're thinking about European football. You're thinking about how to be competitive to win leagues. He's a good player, but this is the thing: is he a good player for Rangers? Is he gonna? I trust Philippe Clement's kind of collective, tactical team approach as opposed to this one hero up front approach. I think when Danilo comes back, he'll be good. I think Dessers will improve. Whether we keep hold of him, I don't know. And who knows what the summer market will bring. Like, fingers crossed we find a gem, but we don't really have the budget. We've got a £35 million striker in Silva, and he's not exactly playing like a £35 million 9 or 10, is he? But he plays all right, but he's no. Is he better?
He's not that out and out striker. Well, he's not that out and out striker, Derek. Robert, Shankland, I believe, does score goals, right? I get that, and I think it would have been a short-term fix. I think we've got to look longer term, and it's the same, my opinion, Robert, as you know, on Lundstrom. I wouldn't begin Lundstrom a contract. I don't care that he's playing well now. Long term, and then watching teams in Europe and watching the games in Europe, Lundstrom's going to get passed round about. We need Diamontes, we need somebody like Raskin that's going to get about the park. Forget his form now. It's how we're going to develop them. We want quick players and players that can get about, Robert. Shankland, in Europe, going forward, he's not going to give you the pace. In Scotland, it's about your bread and butter. You need to score goals. Might come up against tighter defences, but I think long term, maybe Clement's got an eye on another striker, Robert, and I think that might be the reason why we've not done that deal.
Right. So Derek talks about 2 backs of 5, right? Derek, Rangers are playing 2 backs of 5, and Dessers is getting sitter after sitter, and he can't score. So there you go. Put Shankland in there, see the 2 backs of 5, he will score goals. And Southside, you're talking about Raskin and Lundstrom. I'm sorry, Lundstrom's miles ahead of him. That boy can't pass a ball. He cannot pass a ball. But see, Big Lundstrom, he's been outstanding. And I hear Rangers fans on this programme but slagging Big Lundstrom, we won't give him a contract. Of course you've got to give him a contract because the big guy's done well. He's been our best player by far.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Sorry, Robert. Sorry, I cut myself off there. Sorry. Robert, listen, Lundstrom might be playing all right now. You've got to go forward, Robert, right? We've got to look week in, week out. And I don't think in a Clement team that Lundstrom's the type of player that he'll have. If you can say you can fling Sterling in there, you've got Raskin, you've got Diamonte, we might buy another midfielder or 2. Forget strikers and wingers. I don't see Lundstrom paying that type of money for the length of his age and that for what he's got left in him. I don't think he's a long-term fixture under Clement. That's just my own opinion, Robert. But everybody's entitled to what they think. But at the moment, we're getting a tune at him. But if Scott Wright was playing well for the last 6 to 8 weeks, would you want to give him a contract? You know?
Can I just jump in for 2 seconds?
On you go, Derek.
Right, sorry, just 2 seconds. Rangers are not the only club in Europe that has performance data on Shankland. Like we're not this team that's just looking at him saying, and we're overlooking this amazing player who is going to outperform the hell of the SPFL. The people like there's clubs in the Championship that have held back, and there's like teams all in Europe that have seen him perform. Rangers are not the only team that are holding back and signing Shankland. People with greater resources are not pulling the trigger with Shankland. I'm just saying with performance data and stuff, as fans, I don't think we see the full picture. And Rangers are not exclusively looking at Shankland with the exclusion of all other clubs in Europe, including the Championship and the Premier League. There must be something that we're not seeing that's preventing other teams with greater resources not buying him if he's this legend that we all think he is. And I don't think he is. I just think, that, like you say, Clement maybe has a different opinion and a different vision of a team that he just doesn't fit into. Like he fits into a traditional team. He's a figurehead and a striker, but I'm not sure that's how he wants to play as we go into the Champions League, the new format. I don't think that fits.
I agree, Stevie. What do you think? Listen, I think he scores in Scotland, but the debate is it was obviously going to come down to the money, the price that Hearts wanted, and obviously wages.
I was just about to say it doesn't make business sense to sign Shankland, 28. Listen, he's not a Hearts captain because he's rotten, right? Let's get that. The boy is what can't speak, can't lie. He's been putting the ball in the pocket. I get Rangers fans a wee bit of frustration, the fact that we never get an out-and-out striker, and Dessers wasn't the answer. But look, I've been fighting Dessers' corner, right? I'm not saying Deserts is the striker that I personally want at Rangers, but he's got better. We've seen the worst of the boy, and I think he's only going to get better. And there's been a wee bit, he's picked himself up a wee bit. One thing he's he shrugged on it, the abuse off, that everybody keep the boy, and he's done no too bad. I can see why Robert's got his concerns about going forward in these games, that as Desert's getting a one-on-one against Celtic, is he going to put the ball in the net? As you know, I would say, we're watching him the last game there, one-on-one. Probably no, he's not got the confidence because of what he's done in the last few games at one-on-ones. But besides Shanklin, for me, I just don't think Clement fancies him. I think Clement's got his eye on somebody else that's going to fit the way we play, but the way he wants to play at the team and suit the team better. And that's just how I see it. But the window's closed. We've got what we've got, and we need to get behind the boys. And I know Robert will get behind the boys. It's just a couple of concerns that he's got. I don't think Shanklin's the golden goose that everybody thinks either. It's different when you pull that blue jersey on and try and play football, because you're hated and kicked off the field most games. And Shanklin's not the quickest in the world. I mean, I would say that Shanklin's not as quick as what we've got now, to be perfectly honest. But he knows where the goal is. You can't take that away from the boy. But when you pull on that blue jersey, it's a different ball game. But me personally, I just think it wouldn't make business sense signing Shanklin for the money Hearts is looking for. 28 years old, you wouldn't get back any of the money you spent on him. And is it really what Rangers want going forward in Europe and stuff like that? I don't think it is.
All right, well, let's get into that time. I'll need to nick round the panel for your last thoughts. Listen, we're top of the league. We're 2 points clear. We've scored the most goals in Scotland. We've top goal scorers and all, and goal difference, whatever you want to look at it. We've got the best defence of record in the league at the moment. We've got the momentum. We've not got any fear. We should be looking to pick up 3 points on Saturday. And if Motherwell can drop anything going forward and we get these next 6 points in the bag, there's no many games left and our fixtures are looking quite favourable. So I don't think we've got any fear, Gary. And then I'll come to Derek before we shut the show.
No, I totally agree. As I said, mate, I think we win these next 2 games, and Hearts I don't have any concerns about that one. Killie away will be the tricky one. If we can get 6 points, as I say, in my mind, the momentum then becomes unstoppable. And all Bears said a few times, it'll be a canter to the title. I think it could be a bit of a procession if we get 6 points in the next 2.
Right, Gary, thanks very much, because we're going to have to end the show, but thanks for calling in. I'll come to Derek next. I'll come to Derek and then I'll come to Robert. Derek, your last words, mate?
Just really quickly, I think Silva is a temporary replacement for Danilo. I think Cortez is a replacement for Sima. I think Silva and Sima are off in the summer. I think Philippe Clement knows the team that he wants 12 months in advance. So, I think he's been shrewd. So we're looking at Silva, we're looking at Sima, but then we're looking at Danilo, and we're looking at Cortez to take other positions. And in terms of a striker, who knows? That's kind of crystal ball, and I have no idea. Don't know.
No, thanks very much, Derek. You make a lot of good points there, pal, and thanks very much for phoning in. Robert, are you back, pal? Don't know what happened. Yeah. I get cut off and you get cut off, I think.
I know. Listen, Southside, great show tonight with you, Big Stephen Bridgeman. All I have to say is Silver, Dessers, and Lawrence Shanklin. I would take Lawrence Shanklin all day long. That's only my opinion, right? And I think he's one of the league. But listen, thank you for a good show tonight. And come on, it's upwards and onwards with the Rangers. And you know what? We're 2 points in front. We're in the last 16 in the Europa League and the Scottish Cup. So that's what I'm going to say. But I put my points on tonight, Southside, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you for taking my call.
No, thanks always, Robert, for phoning in. You know you're welcome on here anytime, pal. Anytime. Stevie.
Good wee show there. It went mad at the end there with the callers. Absolutely brilliant. All phoning in. Good discussion. Good debate. We've all got Rangers at heart. We just want the team to be... We just want to make sure the team's fighting at every corner, every nook and cranny, and we've got concerns, and this is a platform to share them. Well done to wee Robert for coming on and voicing his opinion once again, very controversially done. And the bottom line for me is, if he needs a big pal to finish that bottle of Echo Falls he's swallowing, I'll get it.
You'll help him, I believe. Bridge.
Oh, what can I say? What a great night, Southside. Fantastic night, you big Stevie. Thanks very much for carrying me through. And of course to the techie team in the background, absolutely brilliant. And I just say to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world, please believe me, this is the biggest game of the season coming up. Any season. We've got to do it. 3 points, a must for us, and that'll keep our, shall we say, our motion going. So everybody, please, keep it going for the Rangers. Wherever you are, keep it going for the Rangers. Keep it going.
Can I just thank Stuart and Teddy, Robert, Derek and Gary for phoning in this evening. And by the way, I'd like to thank you two gentlemen, two legends of Rangers Radio. Thanks for being on the show with us tonight and helping us through the night. Really appreciate it. Thanks to Old School Blue and Fox for doing the technicals once again, because without them there is no show. Thanks for everyone listening. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night. No, we'll be back back tomorrow night, Thursday, innit? I think this was Friday. Back tomorrow night between 8 and 10. So hopefully you'll come and join us. Thanks for having us, and always remember, we are the people. One team, one crown. Take it away, Foxy boy.